Hey, shalom, 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 everyone. Welcome to another episode of My Take with Rosh Ya'acob. I am Rosh Ya'acob, Rabbi of Gethsemane Spiritual Temple Congregation. On this show, we deal with all kind of topics, base everything off of Torah knowledge. It's been a busy weekend. Shalom to all of you. Hope all of you are doing well. It's been a busy weekend. I'm not going to keep you guys long. I just wanted to touch on some things that was going on this weekend and also deal with as I said, Jason Whitlock and Nick Fuentas and the fiasco that's going on with them in the conservative world. There's a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to get into it. I'm not going to waste too much time. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. First, I want to give a shout out to the AOC. The Art of Clothing is in the building. I mean, he's doing big things. Good shout out to him. Brother Alex. Got all his information in the description below. So you can check him out. He got all kind of shirts and different things that he has for sale on his website. Please support our brother because he's supporting us, trying to get this Torah knowledge out there to each and every one. Also, in the midst of that, that means we got to count on you, right? You. If you just your first time being on this channel, please subscribe. If you want to be a hater, there's a lot of haters that was on this weekend. We're going to talk about you haters. There's a lot of haters on this weekend. If you want to continue to hate, if you want to be able to hate whenever you want, click the subscribe button. I'm quite sure I'm going to say a lot of stuff that's going to make you hate. I'm going to make you hate. If you hate it now, I guarantee I'm going to make you hate. Woo! I got something for you. Anyway, please subscribe to the channel. If y'all like what I'm doing and y'all enjoy what you see, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. And I can't forget our sister Linda with her Simply Gorgeous Glow. Again, I'm supporting up to you. This bar, I know y'all see it. I wish you could see it better. Might take it out of the case one day. Let me see if I can take it out of this so y'all can see this better. Because I'm trying to describe to you how it looks. And I know this lighting in here can kind of mess things up. I want you to see. The wrapping is nice. I'm taking it right out of the wrap. All right. I want you to see exactly what this is. So it's a nice bar soap. It got the ridges in it. Let me see if I can move it where y'all can see it. Y'all still can't see it. You can sort of see it. They got these ridges in it, right? These ridges you can, when you use it in a shower, you can get in real good. It smells really, really good and natural. All natural. All natural. Simply Gorgeous Glow. And she don't just got stuff just for men. She also got stuff for the sisters as well, all natural. She sell jewelry and knickknacks. She got everything you could want. Description below, all the information description below. And she also supports Torah knowledge and the spreading of the Torah knowledge. She putting that work in, and we appreciate her so much for all she's doing for our community to help it grow. And you too can help the community grow by supporting them and by subscribing and liking and sharing the information. Because the more you subscribe, the more you share, the more you like, the more the information that gets spread, the more the algorithm will say, hey, this is what people want to see. Like the algorithm went crazy this weekend over our first show we did on Tuesday, Criminal Justice. The algorithm went crazy. At first, I didn't even think it was going to do that big. And next thing I know, this weekend, I'm like, I got 1,000 people. 1,000 people. What's going on here? Yeah, close to 1,000. I'm not sure if it's 1,000 yet. But yeah, I was like, wow. That was really, really a good show. So hopefully you guys, in the midst of that, will subscribe. I got all these viewers that viewed and nobody subscribed. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But everybody had something to say about what was going on. But anyway, before we get any further, I want to let us see, or hear rather, a word from our sponsor. So welcome back, everybody. Before we go any further, I want to first start us out with going over the things that happened this weekend. So I want to build us up to something. Because what I discovered is there's a lot of hate floating around. There's a whole lot of hate. And that's what this show is about, hate. This show is about hate. I started to change the name to The Hatred They Have. That's why I started to change the name of the show to The Hatred They Have, right? This is a lot of hate floating around on this show. Now, you might be saying, what you mean there's a lot of hate floating around on this show? So I'm going to go back to our show, Criminal Justice, that did so good last week. I'm going to open up by going to that show. And I want to show y'all the hate. And I want y'all to see it for yourself. I want you to see the hate for yourself, right? I know it's easy for me to say, oh, it's a lot of hate going on and this, that, and the other. And everybody like, yeah. No, it's really literally a lot of hate going on that I want you guys to see, right? So I'm going to scroll down and we're going to go over some of these comments. I want you guys to see all this hate that's floating in the air. All right, now y'all can see. Because I wanted y'all to see the hate for yourself, because there's one thing for me to tell you is hate, is another thing for you actually to see the hate. So I want you to see the hate. I want you to be like, oh man, it is a lot of hate going on. I want y'all to see all the hate for yourself. I'm trying to make the screen just right so y'all can see the hate. Yeah, y'all can see all the comments at this time, right? I just want to make sure y'all can see the comments. So now let's look at this. I want y'all to see all this hate. Now look at this. This wasn't too bad. This guy tried to act like he knew me. He didn't even watch the show. He said, we know what you're doing, sir. You literally agree with the people in the comments that say it self-defense, right? So I'm saying like, okay, did you watch the show? Or did you just jump ahead and tell me this, right? And it's a random number, so let me know if somebody that just want to be able to talk and say slick stuff and you're not going to be able to know who they are. You can even click on a picture of it, and it just says raw, and you see a street light, right? That's it. You don't hear nothing else about it, right? So let me go and check. Let's see what Ra had to say, right? So I tried to be cordial. I said, hey, thanks for watching my video and commenting on this post. Now I'm trying to give him a hint. When I say thanks for watching my video, I'm either saying, really, thanks for watching my video, or I know you didn't watch the video and I'm being sarcastic. There's only two ways you can take that, right? So I say, thanks for watching my video and commenting on this post. I said, but I'm attempting to stay neutral while others want to condemn. But when Zimmerman did what he did, we kept being told, trust the system. Ain't that what they told us? Ain't tell somebody, gotta trust the system. So we don't gotta trust the system now. Just gotta trust the system then. But now we don't gotta trust the system. That's what he telling us. So then he says, yeah, that Hispanic-run government is crazy. So then I was confused. I know what this Hispanic-run government. What is this guy talking about, right? So I was like, and then he says, ask Jordan Williams. Look him up on Google, what he thinks of the system. So I tried to look up Jordan Williams. It was a lot of people named Jordan Williams. So you got to give me more information than that guy. You tell me, look up somebody on Google. There was a whole bunch of Jordan Williams. I'm like, I don't know what this guy talked about. Look up Jordan Williams. Right? I'm like, I don't got time to feed into his shenanigans. Then I told him, I said, I have no idea what you talking about this Hispanic-run government, because this government that we in is definitely not Hispanic-run, right? So we know this government not Hispanic-run government. So I'm like, what do you mean by Hispanic-run government? So he says, I've been talking about the black people that support Karmelo, and they all bring up Zimmerman. So he's tired of us bringing up Zimmerman when we support Karmelo. He get tired of us bringing up Zimmerman. And I'm thinking, why you get tired of us bringing up Zimmerman? And we don't just bring up Zimmerman. We talk about Penny. We talk about Riff. We talk about all them dudes. Rittenhouse. We talk about all them dudes that y'all loved and supported, right? All of them. That's what we talk about, right? But you said, oh, you only talking about Zimmerman. So I'm like, okay. So this is what he said, not me. Because again, when I'm talking about Zimmerman, I'm talking about somebody that did something to black people, and black people was told, you can't rush the judgment. You got to wait to see what happens. So that's what I'm talking about, right? But he says, this is his words. So they always say, you black people try to race bait and say this, that, or other. We're going to get into a dude that is race baiting, right? But look at what he says. He says, I've been talking to black people that support Karmelo, and they all bring up Zimmerman. That man is not white. We used to say that if you have one ancestor who isn't white, you not white. Well, y'all gotta watch out for that, because there's a lot of y'all out here that's claiming y'all white that probably got one ancestor that's not white. Just saying, right? So he says, and now a man who obviously isn't white is white. So this is my response to him. And I told everybody this, right? I said, I personally don't buy that Zimmerman is Hispanic, because his last name is not one often given to a Hispanic person. But we bring him up because in that scenario, we are told to trust the American judicial system. We are told to trust the American judicial system. That's what we're told, right? And then, but now we are saying the same thing that you guys said to us about trust the American judicial system. Now we're saying it, and you want to hum a different tune. The idea is when black people kill non-black people, we are told to trust in the system. That's why when a black person, when a non-black person kills a black person, we're told to trust in the system, right? It has nothing to do with Zimmerman's race or nationality. You bringing it up, Raw. You bringing up the race and the nationality. I'm not bringing it up. I just said that when Zimmerman did what he did, the Trayvon, y'all said trust in the system. Now we saying trust in the system, and y'all want to complain and make it like, oh, no, we want to rush the judgment. That's what I'm talking about. But look at what he says, right? He turns around and he says, oh, no, let me finish what I said. I said that the idea is when black people are killed by non-black people, so I put non-black people on purpose because I wanted him to not be able to say nothing about him not being white, him being Hispanic. I wanted to make sure that what couldn't be the argument no more. So I made it clear. He's not black. So whatever he is, he's not black. He's closer to you guys. And you guys told us to trust in the system. So that's what I'm trying to get him to be able to see, right? I said, we're told to trust in the system. It has nothing to do with Zimmerman's race or nationality. You are trying to change the goalpost, sir. You're trying to change the goalpost by telling me he's not really white, he's Hispanic. Like that makes a difference in the argument of what I'm saying. Now, this is something he just posted. I didn't even look at this. Now watch this. He says, please Google George Zimmerman and tell me if you see a white man or not. When I see George Zimmerman, I see a white man. Sorry. I say a white man with a tan. Sorry. Anything else? Like, get out of here. I say a white man with a tan. Yes, I do. And you says, also does a surname now determine whether someone is Hispanic? Surnames determine everything. When you hear somebody named Rothenstein, and then a person come out and tell you they Hispanic, are you going to be like, Rothenstein is Hispanic? Or you like, wow, I never heard of a Hispanic guy called Rothenstein. I never heard of a Hispanic guy called Goldberg. I never heard of a Hispanic guy called Johnson. I never heard of a Hispanic guy called Lee. Last name Lee. So yes, surnames give you an idea of who you dealing with. They always have, sir. I don't know where you came from that you don't know that, but they always have. They always have. That's why people change their last name. That's why Barbara Walters changed their last name from Barbara Waltz to Barbara Walters. She changed her last name because she didn't want people to be able to identify who she was because of what was going on during that time period and them trying to break into Hollywood. So yes, people do have certain names that come from certain places. And when you hear the name, you know. You got people that got Italian names, like Francesco, right? And stuff like that. So when you do hear somebody who's not Italian and has their last name, you kind of look like that. That's like I know somebody who's black and she has the name Gonzalez, and I'm like, wow, Gonzalez? Okay, that's different, right? So it does happen, sir. But he does not look. He doesn't even look Hispanic to me. He doesn't. I'm sorry. But again, you're trying to change the post. You're trying to change the goalpost. We're not talking about whether he's white or not and this, that, and the other, because none of that matters. That's what you guys wanted to make matter, because you guys want to make it about white and black. We making it about black people saying the same way everybody else get judged by the system. And y'all say, let the system judge them, is the same thing that we're saying now. It don't got nothing to do with black or white. Sorry, you're caught up with the black or white stuff. We talked about whether we're going to go through the system or not. But that's my situation with him. And I'll respond that back to him because I'm a troll. I'll go back and forth with you forever. As long as you say something to me, I'm going to say something right back to you. And I'm going to put you on the spot or the show like I just did. So there you go, Raw 7682. There you go, buddy. All right. Now this guy, he said something that was okay, so I didn't mind him drowning poor Alice. Drowning poor Alice, he was okay. Who else? Somebody else said something. Oh, watch this. Now, watch how racist this gets. Watch how racist this gets. And it's this guy called Ya'acob Amini. I don't know if that's a guy or it's a woman, right? But watch this. Oh no, my bad. They not. Let me see what they say before I say this. Watch this, okay? It's so ironic that 70 years after a white jury decided that Emmett Till got what he deserved for putting his hands on a white person. I know he didn't, but that's the story we're told. We now have black people who've been raised on that injustice, going about saying that Austin Metcalf got what he deserved for putting his hands on a black person. Now, I don't know who this is said. I'm thinking it's Ya'acob. I'm thinking it might be a sister. Not sure. But they said this, right? And then they said, Karmelo Anthony was not in fear of his life. The only part of him that Austin Metcalf hurt was his ego. He's young, so let's give him the opportunity to be rehabilitated at some point. But he should spend the next 20 years working on that rehabilitation in maximum security prison. So I'm like, okay, that's this person's opinion, right? So let me see. So I think I said, thanks for watching my video and commenting on a post. I understand your frustration and anger about the situation. I can understand why we can't, but I can't understand why we can't just trust in the system will bring justice. Right? So again, I'm just saying, hey, I just want the system to bring this justice, right? I can't understand why we can't just trust in the system to bring justice, right? Can't understand it. I said people already condemned them and created narratives in their minds without knowing all the facts, right? So I left it at that. Then that's when this person came back and says, obviously, if new evidence comes out in a trial, I will revise my opinion, but there seems to be enough information out already to form an opinion, and there doesn't seem to be much room for doubt. Anyone defending Karmelo Anthony at this point is bending over backwards to find excuses solely because of racial aspect. If Karmelo was white, no one would be interested in the case. We'd all be on the same page about throwing him in a prison for a few decades. Now, then, I think I responded back to her. I didn't respond back to her. I think I just liked what she said. But my response back is, the only reason why this case is big is because the conservative news outlets and all these political pundits, as we're going to see in a little bit, all decided to jump on here and attack and come up with narratives and spread misinformation. Like y'all going to see on my show tomorrow when I do the criminal justice show tomorrow. Y'all going to see it's a lot of misinformation that's been spread. And that's what they out to do, right? So that's the whole thing. A lot of the stuff that you thinking that you know, you don't really know. And when we go to what the people actually say is like, okay. So really we just got to see how is the legal system going to look at this? Because I don't know if you remember, sis, but I remember, and I'm thinking it's a sister, but I remember when I was looking for Trayvon Martin to get justice. Was waiting. We looked at the trial every day. We just knew it was a closed and shut case. And what happened? He got off. Stand your ground. And it was like, dang, he attacked Trayvon. Trayvon defended himself. He pulled out a gun and shot Trayvon. Up, stand your ground. He was standing his ground. So I'm like, okay. So then we see another case where the woman, now she did get found guilty, right? The woman that went into the house and shot the man. But for a split second, because she was a police, it seemed like nothing was going to happen. But then we got Rittenhouse, who actually got hit by a skateboard, aimed his gun at the person, killed the person, and they killed two people. Killed two people. Right? Two people he killed in cold blood. And everybody knew we seen the tape. We seen the video. Everybody said, we know he going down. And he got found not guilty and acquitted. So I think they kind of worried about this. Because you wouldn't do so much trying to spread and build up emotions around something that you're not really worried about. So I think they kind of worried that Karmelo might get off. Or they got tired of black people being unbothered, and this is now a chance to try to rope you in, to get you motivated. So that's why I keep trying not to go with the race baiting stuff, trying to get you roped in. And I'm just like, just let the court decide. Let the court decide. Right? That's what I'm saying. Just let the court decide. I'm not going to say this way or that way. Let the court decide. But it's like they get angry and they want you to say one way or the other. And the whole time you're going to keep me seeing me say the same thing. Let the court decide. Oh, you blacks. Let the court decide. I'm tired of y'all. Let the court decide. That's why I'm like, well, dang, y'all don't want the court to decide? Y'all ain't got no power. That was the problem with that whole situation in the first place. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow too. But anyway, then this person, Fedora Ahmed says, y'all people, see, look at this. Y'all people was going to let the system. Y'all people was going to let the system. But then videos of people started popping off about black people attacking white people and white people depending on the outcome of this case. I'm like, what video came up and said that? I ain't seen no video came up and said what black people said, we going to attack white people if this case don't go the way we want it. So I challenged him. I'm going to go down where I said, post the links to these videos. You said this video saying this? Post the links to these videos that you talked about, because I really think there's some propaganda and misinformation being shared that has nothing to do with the case. And then I will talk about it on my show. See, I'm talking about this on my show. I will talk about it on the show. You post a video with black people saying they're going to beat up and attack white people if the case go the wrong way. Let me see them videos. Because other than that, you are lying. You are lying. Who is it? Fedora Ahmed. Fedora Ahmed, you are lying. Show the videos. Post the videos. That's all you gotta do. You on here yippity yappity talking, right? Ain't you on here yippity yappity talking? Well, while you on here yippity yappity talking, post the video. That's all you gotta do. You post the video, I'm gonna talk about it. But I think you're lying, because I think you're part of those people that want to build up something because black people been ignoring y'all and not worrying nothing about y'all, and you can't stand it. What are you talking about? That's why I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. This has nothing to do with what we talking about. Sometimes people come in a comment just to say something that they want to rant and rave about something that don't got nothing to do with what we talking about. You're going to see people over here going to try to talk about being Hebrew and all. I'm thinking, I'm ready for that. I love to smoke for that. Y'all got the wrong one for that. I'm going to show you the Hebrew rants for Wednesday when I do questions and answers. I'm going to come back here and do the Hebrew rants. Because some people are here ranting about Hebrew stuff. I'm sitting there thinking, you got nothing to do with what we talking about. Did you even watch the video? I think I even said that to one of them. Did you even watch the video? Then Fiddle Faddle said they always bringing up Emmett Till because really that's all they have. They haven't lived through that era but want to make believe that they did. So I'm like, I don't know what he talk about. I said, you the one that keeps bringing up Emmett Till, and I personally have gone through stuff for your information. I went through stuff. So I don't know what you talk about. You see all this gray hair? Think it just magically appeared out of thin air? I might look young, but I'm not. I might look young. I appreciate the compliment that I look young, but I know I'm not young. Get out of here. You guys didn't go through nothing. No, you didn't go through nothing, youngin'. You didn't. I did. I don't know what you talking about. Get out of here. What else? Who else? I never bring up Emmett Till. Emmett Till died. You still alive. I stand corrected with that when I told you brought up Emmett Till. Because now that I see it at the beginning, I thought it was you, but it was Ya'acob. That's who brought up Emmett Till. So I'm going to comment on there and let you know that I was wrong about saying you did it. But watch this. It's no link. It's no link. No link at all. But Fedora Ahmed says Officer Tatum covered it, I believe. Officer Tatum covered it. Okay, so I'm going to look to see if Officer Tatum said anything about people talking about they going to hurt people, blah, blah, blah. Because then he got to bring the receipts. Because I'm not just going to believe it because Officer Tatum said it. If Officer Tatum can't prove what he's saying, then it don't mean a hill of beans to me. He not going to believe nothing just because I said it. So why am I believe something just because he said it? That's why whenever I do anything on this show, I always give y'all proof. I don't never just tell you so. I say, up, let me get the proof. Up, let me show you the proof. I gotta show you the proof. I try to make sure y'all get proof. I don't want none of y'all to be able to say I said something and then y'all like he couldn't even prove it. Every time I say something, I want to give y'all proof. But yeah, you didn't bring up Emmett Till, so I'm gonna come back on and apologize to you for that. Fiddle faddle. You brought him up down at the bottom, and I thought this. You kept bringing him up because you said a couple of things about him at the bottom, but you wasn't the first person to bring him up. So once I go to the bottom, because I know you brought him up a couple of times, I'm going to bring up all the times that you said something about him. But anyway, let's look at a couple of others. Oh, it's one I really want y'all to see. Hold on. This is one I really want y'all to see. Watch this. Watch this one. This one I really want y'all to see. Where is he at? I hope he didn't erase it. I tried to screenshot it just in case he erased it. Because I said, I don't want him to erase this. And then it's like, oh, did he erase it? Oh, he might have erased it. Hold on. Oh my God. If he erased it. Oh no, here you go right here. Look at this. Too fast, right? T60, right? I guess that's a number. Facebook, YouTube adds to the end. Too fast. Look what Too Fast says. Too Fast says, all you giggers. And you know what he meant by giggers, right? And you know he white, right? All you giggers. I was like, all you giggers. all you giggers are just happy you killed someone else besides your own. Ha 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 ha. I was like, wow. I said, the racist jumped on the page, right? So I said, oh, you know me, boy. I told you I'm a troll at heart. I was excited. I said, yes, do it, son, because you messed up now. So look what I told him. I said, thanks for watching my video and thanks for taking the time to comment on the post. I try to tell everybody that. I said, I'm really happy because my people want to believe that this type of ignorance and hatred is gone, right? They want to believe, oh, it's not a people out here like that. I seen a guy post a video earlier. Oh, it's not like that nowadays and all that. I'm sitting there thinking, dude, what are you talking about? Right? I said, my people want to believe that this type of ignorance and hatred is gone, but you're helping me to prove my point, which is why I made this video, because black people are attacking each other instead of standing together. That was the whole point of the video. If you would have watched the video, people that's jumping over here talking about race bait and this, that, other. The video is talking about black people talking about black people. And then I'm going through the case. And then I'm pointing out how the black people that was talking about the black people didn't know what they was talking about because they didn't have all the information. So that's what I was pointing out, right? And as I'm pointing all this out, that's how I knew people didn't watch the video when they was saying stuff. And I'm sitting there thinking, dude, what are you talking about? That's not even what I said on there, right? So I said, but I also agree that we need to respect our lives too, as much as we want others to respect our lives. And then I put the link to the video I did where I asked, do Black Lives Matter to us? So he must have watched that video, really seen the stuff I had on my channel, and he came back talking a whole different. Like, oh my goodness, like, I know how this makes me look. So now he wants to explain to me how he's not really racist. He says, I know you can. First, he got smart though. He says, I know you can't understand this, but there's a difference between a black man and a ninja. So I said, oh, he still what is it? Oh, he said a ninja. Oh, he's still trying to say, now he said a gigger. Now he said a ninja. I said, okay, let me get what he's trying to say, right? And he got that from Chris Rock. You remember Chris Rock did that little skit about he ain't worrying about black people, but he don't like the N-words and blah, blah, blah. You know, Chris Rock did a whole skit about that. So that's where he got that mess from. He says, I don't see all black people as ninjas. There are many good, honorable, and intelligent black men in America, but the ones that think murdering each other and others that have no moral values for life are in fact ninjas. So I said, wow, so they ninjas. I said, wow, he still don't get that he sounds racist. He don't get it. I'm sitting there thinking, wow, okay. So I said, I said, don't run away from your racism now, buddy. Don't run now. I'm a troll, son. I love when y'all think y'all gonna jump on my joint try to troll me. Ask them on Facebook that know me. They'll tell you, no, he don't stop. I'm like the Energizer Buddy. I keep going and going. I don't stop, kid. Long as you got something to type, I got something to type. Until you get bored. If you get bored, we'll stop. But as long as you, I'm going to say, we're going to be typing together. I don't stop. So anyway, I said, don't run away from your racism now, buddy. LOL. I, as an FBA, definitely understand what it's like to be a black man. How you going to tell me I don't know what it's about being a black man? That sounds stupid. There are no ninjas. I tell black people this all the time when they want to say the N-word. Don't say that around me. And definitely don't refer to me as that. I don't play those type of games. So I let them know there are no ninjas. That's some garbage people came up with to attempt to still use the N-word like you did when you say gigger. Remember that? So don't run this fake rhetoric on me. There are good black people and black people, and we can tell the difference, right? We can tell the difference, and it's not by calling them ninjas. but by calling out their bad behavior. You, on the other hand, will talk about all of us as a whole. And when you got called out, now you want to kick some fake knowledge on me, like you know more about being black than a black person. Shaking my head. Like, get out of here, right? And this is what he said. Let's remember what he says. All you giggers are just happy you killed someone else besides your own. Ha, 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 ha. That's what was said. But now, once I called him out, he tried to jump back with this fake knowledge and this, that, and the other. So then he says, I never talked about black people as a whole, even though I lived in mixed neighborhood in Fort Hood, Texas. Every single kid that jumped my son or murdered each other. So he's still talking about them murdering each other. Like, listen to the narratives, right? In school are black in this town. All the pictures of thieves in the stores are black, right? He gonna sound familiar like somebody we about to listen to, right? The racist Israelite. So then he try to put the Israelite in. The racist Israelite that got me fired from my job at General Dynamics was black. Okay. The guy that almost robbed me with my family coming back from Colorado in the middle of nowhere in Texas at a gas station was black. The kids that threw rocks at the back of my head for taking my son to fight the kid that jumped him was black. The kids that spit on the back of my head were black. I never had a white person do S to me in my 45 years I've been alive.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit.
If I hated every black person, I most certainly happily tell you. I've got a lot of S here for free for black friends that you will also tell you these types are the ninjas 100%. So that's the problem. You got some black people co-signing this dumb mess with you. Then he just kept going on and on and on. Look at all, he went on for a minute. Then he thought I deleted his stuff, right? So I said, look, I ain't feel like going through all that. I said, look, I'm sorry for all the ills. Ain't this how it's normally done? I'm sorry for all the ills done to you by black people. I too could tell you about all the ills done to me by white people. I could do the same thing you just did. I can run it down. This happened, that happened, that happened. I'm in school. People want to rub your hair. Ooh, I never felt the hair before. All this kind of crazy mess. My last year at the school we got bused to, it was a race riot jumped out where they let the white children in the area because it was a racist area called Hampton. If you in Baltimore, if you from Baltimore, you know about Hampton. You know how racist it was back in the day. And some would say it's still racist out there, right? Had a race war at the park. And just so happened my mother didn't let me go to school that day because if I went to school that day, I would have got in trouble just like all the rest of the black students. And guess who the police locked up when they came to break up the riot? All the black students that went to the school. So you can have all your stories. I got stories too, right? So I said, that's the problem. Our anecdotal experiences mostly cloud our judgment. So you had anecdotal experiences, so it's clouding your judgment, and you want to say ninja, ninja, ninja. And I got anecdotal experiences that could cloud my judgment, which is why I'm saying let's let the courts decide, not social media. Because I believe if they're trying to bring all this stuff up, to get everybody hyped and upset. So whatever goes on with the verdict, if it does go not in the favor of Karmelo, then black people will be mad. And if it does go in the favor of Karmelo, white people going to be mad. And I believe they fanning the flames. And the main reason why they fanning the flames because when these tariffs kick, oh, it's going to get rough. It's It's going to get rough out here. So let me. I spent enough time dealing with this. Now I want to get into what I originally wanted to deal with or talk about, right? So let me get into that. And that is about Jason Whitlock.
Of which,
there we go.
Justin, I was saving this for you. Jason Whitlock.
Okay.
Jason Whitlock.
Oh,
saving
man.
it. Okay.
My man.
Yeah. I said
boy.
this is way too foolish for me to deal with Monday through Thursday, right? First of all, Nick Fuentas is a whole ass incel whose own family has turned on him from time to time, who lives in his mama's basement, who has made his living saying outrageous things. Again, somebody with no discernible talent or skill in the particular arena that they're discussing gets to be famous and rich off of saying outrageous, ridiculous things. So this is Nick Fuentas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a butcher for every cow. So apparently Jason Whitlock said some things that made Nick Fuentas say some things. Yeah. Now, Nick Fuentas is, to me, a publicly raging racist and misogynist. You know, he's the one that said, "Your body, my choice."
My choice.
That was him, right? As if you could have a choice.
Yes. Said he doesn't want to live around black people. Says black people are animals. Like he's what I would call a card carrying racist. That's how I would define it. And he hasn't left me much room to disagree from every time I've ever seen him to open his mouth.
Well, let's take you on his greatest hits, just because this Fools is Friday, but also in the broken clock of things. Yeah, as it relates to Jason, I agree with him. So
every once in a while he get one off. Every once in a while they get one off, right?
Okay, all right. Let's play the first one. I don't want to live around black people.
Here's Nick Fuentas reacting to Austin Metcalf's murder.
Now, Jason Whitlock is playing this, right? He's playing this audio of Nick Fuentas responding to what happened with Austin Metcalf and basically attacking the whole community, as our brother did a minute ago in that thread, attacking the whole community based off of what one person did. And then that person might be found not guilty because the person said that it was self-defense, right? So we want to see what's going to happen with this, right? But he decides he's going to go on his rant and his raves, attacking black people. And for some reason, Jason Whitlock took offense to this. And normally he'll be right there with him. So that was kind of confusing to me. But I said, okay, let's get our popcorn out.
And I will tell you this as plainly as possible. I don't want to live around black people. I just don't. It would be irresponsible if I had a wife and kids to live near black people. It just would be. And that's not to say that every black person is violent. It's not to say that every black person is the same way.
Now, remember the guy we just said? He said, everybody in this town that do bad stuff is black. Everybody that did this was black. They was black. This is black. The people on the wall, black. Black. Everybody that was any kind of criminal, he said he never seen a white person do anything wrong ever. That's what he said. The same thing like what Nick Fuentas is saying. Don't it sound so similar? Don't what the guy was saying sound so similar to what Nick Fuentas is saying? Let's listen.
But we watch the news. We read the papers. When you drive downtown in Chicago, you know who you got to look out for and worry about when you're thinking about whether you're going to get carjacked, when you're worried about catching a stray bullet, when you're worried about who's going to pull up on the side of the road and literally shove a rifle in your face and steal your iPhone or shoot you point blank, execution style, in Lincoln Park. We know who's doing it.
Pause for a second, Smith. Pause.
I don't want to live.
No, pause.
Go
when
ahead,
does this happen?
Go ahead,
you would
Karen.
think we would be inundated with white people being, held at gunpoint for their iPhones and being shot in Chicago, being carjacked. You would think this would be, and they've tried to paint Chicago as the most dangerous city in the United States of America, when it's really Anchorage, Alaska is Chicago's not even in the top 10. Okay, right. Anchorage, Alaska is more violent and dangerous than Chicago, Illinois. Yes. So if we're having this conversation, number one, and this is something, leaning into what Francis Cress Welsing was saying, we have to be zero tolerant of people talking greasy about us. So Jason Whitlock got offended because he's black. Right, he got offended by it. So
see, that's what I said. He got offended. I've been shot with y'all. I've been shot. I'm so used to him Toming. I'm in shock, right? I'm in shock.
He played the clip and then went off on how ridiculous it was, because that's a bridge too far for him. Now, he could sit there and talk about Dawn Staley and every black person, and mostly black women, because, he too is an incel, and that's involuntarily celibate, meaning nobody wants to do you. You are not attractive, and you're not working on yourself to make yourself attractive. You're disgusting. Both of you. Both of you.
And this is from a man who said, Jason Whitlock said, Black Lives Matter is no different than the KKK.
Okay. That's this Jason was what this man is saying, what this boy is saying, because he doesn't have any kind of maturity. Yeah. Nick Fuentas was too offensive for Jason Whitlock. But I just paused you, Smith, because of the propaganda. Because here's the other reality. 75% of white people already self-segregate. You don't live around black people already. You already ran every time black people moved in. You don't even know what it's like to live around black people. It's wonderful. The smells of great seasoning and all of the good music in the air. I used to lived in a condo where I would sit on the roof, Rod, and I had behind me folk from Latin American country. They would be playing their salsa at night and doing karaoke. Across the street with this brother, he played house music. To the left of me was somebody that was into 2000, my kind of R&B and hip hop. I would just sit on the roof and just be enraptured with the amazing music going through the airwaves. On Sunday, the gospels across the street. It was lovely.
Got some free publicity.
You don't even know. That's why your seasoned chicken is not seasoned. It's raw. Exactly. It's raw and ball-headed.
Oh my God.
You don't live around us. So you don't know us. Somebody put a plate out on social media and said, "Oh, I'm eating like black people," and I knew that they didn't know black people because the corn muffin was in paper.
Oh, see,
who does that? I said, "Where?" And they had cookies on the plate. We ain't never put no cookies on the plate.
Next to the food.
Next to the food, there was a clump of something white that could have been mashed potatoes. It looked like cauliflower, but it was a clump of something, maybe unbuttered seasoned.
She right. Well, put no cookies on her plate. Not with your food. Got your food, and no cookies gotta go in a different plate. Come on now.
And grits or something white. I was like, that is the least black plate. I'm eating and I think he said something derogatory, like I'm eating like these N-words or something. And I was like, wow, I know you don't know black people, because that's not a black people don't eat like that. So you think you presented something, but the fact that you can't even mimic or duplicate the richness of our culture on a plate. But this man has something to say about living around you. And if you had a wife and children, which is going to be doubtful, and the only reason why a woman would get with you at this point is because of your wallet. Yeah. She don't like you. That's like the girl that's with, who's the coach, used to be the coach of the Patriots. He got him,
Belichick.
Belichick out here. You think that lady would be with him for his personality and man, if y'all don't get out my face with this nonsense. So, sir, you would not have someone willingly want to be with you. So you with this fantasy.
I would add one more thing too, which is that everything he said is true in reverse. Meaning black people have been historically in danger living amongst white folks in this country. That is real. Rosewood, that's not a conspiracy.
Black Wall Street.
We're talking
all them
even
towns
when we try to live amongst ourselves.
All them towns is buried under the rivers. Even Central Park was a black town. that was successful that they destroyed and made a park over top of it. Get out of here. Like, tell him, Roderick.
If it get too good, it's Tulsa. It's Wilmington.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
like
we are the ones that have history on our side of like what it is like.
All over. I had a British professor on Wednesday, was he Wednesday or yesterday? Yesterday, David Olashoga, yesterday. He said his family, his mama's white, his father's Nigerian, moved into a neighborhood, poor neighborhood. They threw a brick through their window with, derogatory slurs. They had to have a police officer stationed at their house because of the attacks on this one family. It's minding their business, not doing anything negative at all. This is, you watched Them. That one season where the black family moved in the South Central LA. But that was the norm. That was the norm. The black
terrorism
family
has gone the other way.
Jesus.
It's like, that church bombing. Like the terrorism has gone the other way. It's not gone to black people are not terrorizing white people. It's only in the white imagination that we become these monsters who want to prey on whiteness, as a pastime. It's like we don't have full lives of our own that we're trying to navigate. The police don't have a black site in Chicago where they're disappearing.
You know why what you're saying is absolutely true? Gentrification could never happen if what he is saying is true.
Exactly.
Because when white people move in, they are actually the safest.
Yes.
Black neighborhood. They come, they run, they jog through our neighborhood. They got their little baby carriages. I'm like, what?
Yes.
Nobody bothers them. They know that though. This is the other thing. What you're saying is a damn lie.
Yeah.
There will be no gentrification.
They're the ones that move out when we come in. You know what I mean? Like, a black family moved into this neighborhood. We all must flee. That white flight thing is real. Like, and it is once again in America, white feelings become facts. So because the white people have a general fear and unease around blackness, it becomes factual that blackness is preying on the whites. They're going to get your daughter. They're going to, your wife, you better be careful out here, white man. They're going to carjack you and take your phone. You know how they love to do that? Just be minding their business. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm a full robber. That's the idea that they have to have in order to, support their racist feelings towards black people, right? Because if all of that were true, then how can I ever blame you for being, not wanting to be around black people? I mean, it's so dangerous. It's basically just a war zone and you just happen to be driving through. But none of that shit is true. You just happen to be racist.
Correct. All right, let's finish the races. I apologize because.
All right, so that's Karen. If you want to watch the rest of her show, I got in the description below. Please show her some love. Go to her show, look at her video, like and share it, and all that good stuff. All right, so we're going to move on from there. All right, so, and please like, share, and subscribe to this show. Next, we're going to look at Dr. Richey. Dr. Richey is also going to point out this rant and what's going on with Nick Fuentas. So we're going to see what Dr. Richey has to say.
Known racist, proud racist, white supremacist, white nationalist, Nick Fuentas, calls Jason Whitlock a token. Here it is.
And by the way, you are a token. Hey, Jason, you're a token. You are in conservative media as a black guy that can confer upon white people the dignity of not being called a racist for having their views. That's why you get paid. And that's why I don't, because I didn't have the privilege of being born black. I was born white. So there's a limit on what I can say.
Whoa. Now I got to say this hell must have frozen over because about 50% of what that racist SOB said is true about Jay.
Now, don't fret. I got the video in the description below. I know I kind of skipped past some things, but don't worry. I got another clip to show you where they're going to go into it even more. I also got O'Shea Duke Jackson in the building, and he's talking about it as well. And I got him in the building, so I'm going to let him set everything up, and then we're going to go right to Jason and hear what Jason's saying so we can tie everything up in a nice bow and we can get out here at a reasonable time. All right, so here we got O'Shea Duke Jackson on a celebrity jump.
The basketball player Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony, the young brother that is 17 years old, remaining in police custody on a $1 million bond. And as you know, he is charged with murder for stabbing Austin Metcalf at a track meet. Okay, and I just kind of want to talk about this because this has led to further discussion, and this further discussion deals with Jason Whitlock and Nick Fuentas. Now, Nick Fuentas is a white supremacist, and Nick Fuentas has said that their situation is just a microcosm of a bigger issue. Basically, blacks are dangerous, and you cannot trust them, and white people don't want to live anywhere around them.
And I will tell you this as plainly as possible. I don't want to live around black people. I just don't. It would be irresponsible if I had a wife and kids to live near black people. It just would be. And that's not to say that every black person is violent. It's not to say that every black person is the same way. I don't want to live near them. I don't want to be near them. They make me nervous. That's a survival instinct. And the way this story unfolds.
So all this stuff is what he said that's going to make Jason Whitlock be like, nah, you're going too far. And you race baiting. So Jason Whitlock is basically going to call him a race baiter. Right? And he's not going to take lightly to that. He's not going to like that Jason Whitlock, of all people, is calling him out as a race baiter. Because Jason Whitlock said he feel like the climate that's going on right now is kind of setting it up for some kind of racial war to happen, and he doesn't like it. He feel like there's a lot of plants and so forth out there. He said it on his show. He said there's some plants and so forth out there. He said there's also race baiters. And he calls out this guy, Nick Fuentas.
Going to use the conflict, the tragedy in Frisco, Texas, with Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony to expound on what I think is going on in America, how paid actors, agitators, plants are using this situation, trying to trigger us into a massive conflict. And so in part of my unpacking of this, I'm going to address Nick Fuentas and the things he said about me on his show yesterday.
And we can see clearly he's trying to bait some black people to be mad at him by saying all this. But most of us be like, all right, whatever, when we'll be around you neither. Where the fans at? Hey.
Folded, it's sort of interesting. Apparently this white student, this Austin Metcalf, confronted a friend of the killer, presumably black also, and said something like, hey, you're sitting in the wrong spot. You're in my spot, something like this. And that's when the black guy jumped in and stabbed him to death.
You see how he don't even know what happened? He's telling the story all wrong. That's not even what happened. Why do these people like to jump on places and say stuff and they don't know what happened? None of that happened. But that's his story. He's sticking to it.
Unfortunately, we just don't know. When you're on the subway, when you're driving in your car, when you're in the city streets, you don't know whether the black person in proximity to you is one of the good ones,
one of the good
or
ones,
one of the ones who is going to summon an unbelievable, I mean, literally, for people like us, an unthinkable.
Now, isn't that what the guy said when he was trying to prove to me that he wasn't racist, and please don't look at him as being racist? And then he say, you got good blacks, and then you got ninjas. And what he said? Sound like what he said, right? You know what he said? I thought that's what he said.
Level of spontaneous brutality senseless and merciless violence in an instant. We don't know. There's ambiguity. You're sitting on a subway. You look across. You see someone acting strange or aggressive. Is this someone who was...
He keep trying to build up Daniel Penny case. Daniel Penny, that dude, they do that for two Daniel. Daniel Penny, that's Daniel Penny needed. That guy, Jordan Neely, he needed to be in fear of his life from Daniel Penny. Because he was just on the train talking. And Daniel Penny jumped up and choked the man out and killed him in cold blood. People tapping his arm like, let him go, man, let him go. He like, get away, get away. And he just kept on choking him. But he got acquitted. He got found not guilty. And he got millions of dollars. But they complaining about the little bit of money compared to what he got that Karmelo was getting for his defense. And everybody making excuses for Daniel Penny and what he did. He didn't have to jump up and choke that man out. He didn't have no authority to do that. He wasn't nobody. He just was somebody on the train.
Going to pull out a knife and in 2 seconds slit my throat and kill me? Or is this just someone who's having a bad day? We don't know. I'm not willing to risk my life to find out. It's not worth it to me.
Okay.
I'm not willing to put myself in a position to find out.
Now, Jason Whitlock, who works for Blaze, he's also a black conservative, came out and called Nick Fuentes demonic. This is interesting because typically Jason Whitlock is one of those guys that usually agrees 100% with white supremacists, but he's now trying to say, hey, this as a Christian man, we need to come out and not just denigrate all black people, but this is a society problem. I don't know why the hell he said that, but that was his defense. And when Nick Fuentes heard, and this is basically what he said here.
Ties it all together is we've never tried the proper solution. We've never, rather than give in to bigotry, rather than to give in to skin color bias, we've never legitimately fought back against a culture that has been installed by Hollywood, the music industry, the idols set up in the culture. We've never said, hey, men, black, white, those of you that believe in Jesus Christ, let's come together under that umbrella. Let's come together under Christian culture and obedience to Jesus Christ. We've never tried that as the solution.
Now, why he said that, I don't know, because Nick Fuentes was definitely on his ass, and he gave him his call.
Oh, man. He gonna give it to him. I'm gonna hold up on this for a minute, because I want us to go to Dr. Richey. I want us to go to Dr. Richey. I want us to go to Dr. Richey so we can see what Dr. Richey is going to say. I want us to go back to Dr. Richey. Because Dr. Richey will talk about this as well. So now we can go back to Dr. Richey.
Jason Whitlock. I do disagree with the other 50% that's just his bogus bigotry talking. But Jason Whitlock, the man has made a career out of being the antithetical voice as it relates to...
Oh, I did with I got my bad. I gotta let y'all hear what he said about Jason Whitlock. I didn't go to that part. I knew it was something I was missing. I'm out of order with the thing. Normally I had this in a nice order. Y'all know I like to put it in a nice order for you. Let's go back to O'Shea and hear what Jason had to say about, what Nick Fuentes had to say about Jason.
And by the way, you are a token. Hey, Jason, you're a token. You are in conservative media as a black guy that can confer upon white people the dignity of not being called a racist for having their views. That's why you get paid. And that's why I don't, because I didn't have the privilege of being born black. I was born white, so there's a limit on what I can say. There's a limit on what I can say without being penalized in the so-called free marketplace of ideas. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows. And everybody's sick of it, especially in the conservative space, that blacks have had it easy. It is, and I don't doubt that he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's genuine. But you are playing by a different set of rules, pal. You have training wheels on. You think you've earned it? Everything you have. Take a look around at your studio, your contract, your employees. If you said the stuff that you said as a white person, your ass would be gone. And everybody knows that. You're on Blaze hosting E. Michael Jones talking about the Jews. It's a good thing you're black, because if you weren't, you would have been fired like Elijah Schaffer. You would have been fired like every other white person. Everybody knows that. Take a good look at everything around you, because you did not compete to get that. You got it because people feel sorry. People don't want to be called racist. Wow. They feel sorry. So they need a black person to give them credibility.
So let's get this straight. So basically, he's DEI. That's basically what he tell him. You DEI. You, sir, are a token. You are DEI. They felt sorry for you and they put you in that spot because you helped them say stuff that they can't say. That's what he telling them. Oh, he popped, boy. He probably said, I can't believe his black butt said something about me. How dare his black butt? He was calling you all kind of blickety, blackety, blacks. You was all kind of big blickety blacks. Hold on. Oh, you was, man. That's sad. It's sad.
And if you can't see that, then you're just as ignorant as BLM. If you can't see that, if you can't be honest with yourself about that, you're just as ignorant as the marchers. As a matter of fact, you are as ignorant as the marchers. Just another ignorant crybaby. And you know what? I have no hatred. I really don't.
Really?
I'm a little bit frustrated with the fact that people are going to challenge my credibility based on what I say, knowing what I've sacrificed.
I don't know what you're saying.
What has happened to me, what has happened to my family. And I'm not trying to play the world's smallest violin.
Yes, you is.
But my sacrifice has been considerable. I have had a considerably more difficult go than almost anybody, because I was willing to tell the truth before it's fashionable about Israel, about race, about globalization, about a wide variety of subjects. Ever since I was 18 years old, I have been censored. I have been financially blacklisted, had to endure financial hardship. I've been targeted. My family's been targeted. So for somebody to come and challenge my credibility or whether I'm being honest, it's totally outrageous. I have no hatred in my heart for people. I have no hatred in my heart for anybody, for that matter, and not for a group based on their race.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit.
And I have friends from all different races.
There we go. I got a black friend. There we go. Ain't that what they always say? And you get them caught up and say, oh, I got a black friend. I got a black friend. Sure you do, buddy.
Black America. He's the black guy who will say
you talking about Jason,
the most extreme commentary against black folk in America and beyond. So they roll him out when they need that particular opinion.
You're right.
But there's more. Here it is.
You are playing by a different set of rules, pal. You have training wheels on. You think you've earned it? Everything you have. Take a look around at your studio, your contract, your employees. If you said the stuff that you said as a white person, your ass would be gone, and everybody knows that. You're on Blaze hosting E. Michael Jones talking about the Jews. It's a good thing you're black, because if you weren't, you would have been fired like Elijah Schaefer. Look at everything around.
So this guy is off the hook. Let's see if Karen got anything else to say about the matter.
But even the Daniel Penny, which I thought was ridiculous, you got up out of your seat. You weren't being physically assaulted. No. You got out of your seat and took it upon yourself. You deputized yourself to police that black body and choke that man to death on the train, and you got to quit it.
Right.
You got to quit it. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines to come into a protest. It was not in his front yard. It was not in his home. Nobody was bothering him. He and his family crossed state lines to police. They got deputized in a climate that allows for people like this, and it's only going to get worse, to come in with assault rifles and shoot people and kill people, and got to quit it.
Yep.
George Zimmerman took it upon himself to police Trayvon Martin's body with his Skittles and his drink, going to the home where he and his daddy were staying. That man took it upon himself to follow him. And when he was getting his ass beat because he didn't know who he wasn't police. You're following me. I don't feel safe. You got your ass beat by a teenager. You pulled out a gun and you shot him and killed him and took his life and got acquitted in this just us system, right? So Nick Fuentes, if anybody should be afraid, if anybody should be not wanting to live around anybody, it should be us not wanting to live around you. And maybe you're about to find out what that looks like when there are no black people in anywhere. Well, you already do. 75% of you, and you're not happy. You're still not happy. Still not happy.
What else do you want? I thought y'all was winning. Y'all got y'all country back. I thought y'all had y'all president. Like, why are y'all so mad? Y'all still mad at us? One black person talking about us. Still talking about us. One black person did something. Now it's all the blacks, even to the point where Jason Whitlock couldn't keep the act up. Like that's it's bad when he had to call foul to be like, hey, turn the racism down a little bit. It's getting a little too much for me. And I love some racism. Let me be the first to say it,
Oh my goodness, I'm trying to tell you. So that's the thing. That's the thing with that. It's really, really crazy because that's how it is, right? He really, really, really is on that. So just wanted to touch on that a little bit to let you see the spinoffs that's happening. Want to talk about the people that said little stuff in the comments to me. Because I feel like it's an era of things going on right now. Anytime Jason Whitlock put himself out there so he could get leaked on like that, like, it's trying to let you know that there's some things going on. If y'all want to see all the videos in its entirety, I'm not going to have enough time to show you all of them. I got them down in the description below. If you want to read all the comments, because it's a lot of comments on my page, I got the description. I got that video link to the show from last week from Criminal Justice. Down below, you can click right on it. It'll open up. You can go right to the comments and you can see it all. But this whole thing is crazy. And it's all in a backdrop of what happened. In a backdrop of what happened with two young men that wasn't even about race. That wasn't even about race. It wasn't even about any of that. What that was about was I believe the young man felt like you don't have the authority to tell me to go nowhere. You can't tell me to go nowhere. And I'm not going just because you said so. And they wanted to prove that they had the authority when all they had to do was go to the authorities, to the school police, to the coach, to whoever was hosting the event, to a referee, anybody. They could have went to anybody that had some kind of clout or authority that he was going to recognize. And if they would have told him to move, he would have moved. He didn't want to move because you said to move. Because he was saying, who are you? Who are you? I got to listen to you. So that's our show for tonight. Before we go, I want to let you hear 3 Before Joy. 3 Before Joy. These sisters got beautiful, beautiful voices, and I want you to hear them as they sing praises to the Almighty, as they sing one of our prayers known as the Shema. So they're going to be singing the Shema, and it's one of the most important prayers. The Mashiach references when a man comes to him and says, what's the greatest commandment? And he says, Hail Yisrael. When he says Hail Yisrael, that's Shema Yisrael. Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Yahweh is our Eloheinu. Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. You shall love your neighbor as yourself, right? So that's what they're about to sing. So please join me in listening to our Artist of the Week, 3 Before Joy.
Shema, 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 Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Blessed be his name, his glorious kingdom reigns forevermore. Hear, O Israel, the Lord God, the Lord is one. Blessed be his name, his glorious kingdom reigns forevermore. Hear, O Israel, the Lord God, the Lord is one. Blessed be his name, his glorious kingdom reigns forevermore. Hear, O Israel, the Lord God, the Lord is one.
Amen. Hallelujah. Beautiful, beautiful voices. Love the way they sing. Hopefully you liked tonight's show. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget tomorrow's show, Criminal Justice. The second episode will be out. And with that said and done, I bid you all Leila Tov and Shalom.